Alfred, the man history remembers as the Great. He was not born to an easy crown. He did not inherit a land at peace. He rose from fire, from chaos, from the ashes of a nation nearly destroyed. And yet, through courage, vision, and sheer will, he became the one man who could save England. This is his story. He was born in the year 849 in Wantage, a quiet village in Berkshire. Alfred was the youngest son of King Æthelred of Wessex, a kingdom then small, fragile, but proud. He was not expected to become king. He had elder brothers ahead of him in succession. His destiny, it seemed, would be to serve, not to rule. But fate had other plans. From the moment of his birth, Alfred was different. He was a child often frail in body, plagued with illnesses that never fully left him. But his mind, his heart, they burned with fire. He loved stories, poetry, the wisdom of scripture. Unlike many princes of his age, who thought only of hunting or feasting, Alfred longed for knowledge. And perhaps this, more than anything, would shape the man he became. When he was just a boy, his father took him on a journey that would change his life. Æthelwulf traveled to Rome, and little Alfred, no more than 5 years old, went with him. There, in the Eternal City, he walked through the marble streets, stood before the great churches, and received the blessing of the Pope himself. For a boy from the green fields of Wessex, it was like stepping into another world. He saw civilization, learning, grandeur, and he carried those visions back home, deep within him. But childhood dreams do not last forever. In those years, the Viking storm had begun to gather. Across the North Sea came longships filled with warriors, fierce, merciless, burning villages, tearing apart kingdoms. By the time Alfred returned from Rome, England was already bleeding. The land was divided. To the north, Northumbria. To the east, East Anglia. To the center, Mercia. And in the south, Alfred's homeland, Wessex. One by one, the Vikings came for them all. Northumbria was crushed, East Anglia fell, Mercia bent its knee, only Wessex remained. Alfred's father died, leaving the throne first to his elder brothers. One by one, they ruled, fought, and fell. Alfred served faithfully beside them, a prince who fought not for glory but for survival. He learned in the shield wall, shoulder to shoulder with common men, the weight of steel, the terror of battle. He fought at Reading, at Ashdown, at Basing. At Ashdown in 871, destiny revealed itself. The Viking army was vast. Their lines stretched across the hills. Alfred's brother, King Æthelred, delayed, caught in prayer, refusing to begin the fight until his devotions were done. And so it was Alfred, not yet king, who took command. He led his men uphill, shield raised, heart steady, and with a cry he charged. The Vikings broke before him. That day, victory was his, not by chance, not by luck, but by courage. The courage that only Alfred possessed. Soon after, Æthelred died, and at only 22 years old, Alfred was crowned king. But what a crown it was, a crown of thorns. For even as the coronation words were spoken, the Viking war drums thundered. They came again and again, raiding, burning, demanding gold. Alfred fought them where he could, fought them off when he must. Some called it weakness. But Alfred was not blind. He knew, to live, sometimes you must bend. To survive, sometimes you must pay. But the storm would not relent. In the winter of 878, Guthrum, the Danish warlord, struck suddenly. In a frozen dawn, his men fell upon Alfred's court at Chippenham. The king barely escaped with his life. His household scattered, his army shattered, his kingdom gone. Alfred fled. No throne, no army, no land. Only a fugitive king wandering the swamps of Somerset. And yet, it was here, in the mud, in the marshes, that Alfred's greatness was born. There is a story, part legend, part truth. While hiding, Alfred took shelter with a peasant woman. She asked him to watch her loaves of bread as they baked. Distracted by his thoughts of battle and ruin, he let them burn. The woman scolded him harshly, not knowing she rebuked a king. And Alfred bore it silently. It was humiliation, yes, but also a lesson. Even kings must answer for failure. Even kings must learn humility. But Alfred did not give in to despair. In those marshes, he gathered the scattered, farmers, soldiers, outlaws, any who would fight. He whispered hope into broken hearts, and when the spring came, Alfred rose again. At Edington, he faced Guthrum's army. The battle was fierce, brutal, shield wall against shield wall, men locked in deadly embrace. Alfred himself fought in the thick of it, blade flashing, heart unyielding. And then, the Viking line broke. Guthrum's men fled, the great heathen host was crushed. But Alfred was not only a warrior, he was a man of vision. He did not slaughter Guthrum, he offered him baptism. He made the Danish leader his godson, bound by faith, bound by oath. It was mercy, but it was also strategy. For Alfred knew, swords win battles, but mercy wins kingdoms. From that day, Alfred turned from survivor to builder. He created the birth system. Fortified towns, strongholds across Wessex, each manned, each supplied, each ready to withstand siege. It was revolutionary. No longer could the Vikings sweep across the land unchecked. At every turn, they found walls, defenses, resistance. This network became the backbone of England's defense, a system so strong it endured for centuries. He reformed the army too, creating a system where men served in shifts, half in the field, half at home, so that no farm was abandoned, no soldier overburdened. He even built a fleet of ships, larger, swifter than the Viking longships. England, under Alfred, began to rule not only the land, but the seas. But Alfred's greatness went deeper still. He looked at his people and saw not only soldiers, but souls. He saw ignorance spreading, learning fading, faith crumbling. He vowed to restore wisdom to his kingdom. He invited scholars from across the seas. He himself translated books from Latin into English, the first king perhaps to hold a pen as readily as a sword. He believed that knowledge should not belong only to priests, but to the people. He commanded that young men of rank must learn to read in English. He dreamed of a literate land, a land of law, of scripture, of justice. And justice, Alfred reformed too. He gathered the laws of his ancestors, blended them with Christian teaching, and forged a code rooted in fairness. He was not content with power alone. He wanted his people to live under order, not chaos, under justice, not tyranny. Through all this, he remained deeply pious. Prayer, faith, scripture, they guided him as much as the sword. To him, his kingship was not his own, but God's trust placed in his hands. For nearly 30 years, Alfred ruled. He fought when he must, he built when he could, he dreamed always. And in his reign, the tide turned. Wessex did not fall. England did not vanish. Instead, from Alfred's kingdom grew the roots of a nation, a united England which his descendants would one day bring fully into being. But even the greatest kings are mortal. Alfred had long suffered from painful illness, perhaps Crohn's disease or piles, historians cannot be sure. Through every campaign, every council, he bore it silently. But in the year 899, the pain grew too great. Alfred, aged 50, breathed his last. His body was buried with reverence. His spirit never left. He was the only English king in all of history to bear the title, the Great. And he earned it, not through endless conquest, but through resilience, through vision, through wisdom. He showed that greatness is not never falling, but rising again and again. It is standing in the swamps of despair and finding the strength to hope. It is lifting a broken kingdom from the ashes and building something stronger. Alfred the Great, warrior, scholar, lawgiver, dreamer, the father of England. And though more than 1,000 years have passed, his voice still whispers in the stones of this land. A reminder that even in our darkest hour, there is light. Even in defeat, there is hope. And even in the frailty of one man, there can be greatness enough to save a nation.